Ladies and gents, welcome back. Trudeau always making his way around the country, finding himself with the warmest of welcomes as he goes to speak to Canadian citizens all around the place. Here we have an article from the Countersignal. Trudeau forced to cancel fundraiser over widespread outrage. Of course, the most hated PM in history. And I don't think there's anyone doubting that. PM Trudeau was forced to cancel a fundraiser in Surrey, BC, due to a large showing of protesters vehemently opposed to his very presence. Trudeau must go. Video captures protesters waving Canadian flags and chanting. F Trudeau, one of the protesters, shouts amidst the chanting after something unintelligible was said on a loudspeaker. Here we have a video of his here.
Trudeau must go! Trudeau must go! Trudeau must go! Trudeau must go! Trudeau must
So clearly people chanting and peacefully protesting. I mean, there's nothing scary about these people. They just do not like their prime minister. Ultimately, Trudeau was forced to cancel the in-person event, choosing to address attendees cowardly via Zoom. He subsequently said that he would return to Surrey in the future. The Liberal Party later published a statement citing safety concerns despite there being no evidence the crowd was in any way violent. Like we could see here, they're all standing there peacefully amongst themselves. Everyone participating in our democracy should feel safe and respected. And safety of our supporters and guests will always be the Liberal Party of Canada's top priority. Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party will continue to engage with Canadians and share our positive plan to build a better country for everyone. Oh, oops. One of those slips. Reads a statement from the Liberal Party sent to the Daily Hive. Others in the media further claimed that the crowd was racist towards Asian attendees because, of course, they did. Of course they did. Well, what do we have here? The National Post saying Trudeau cancels appearance at event in BC after protesters hurl racial slurs. And of course, look at that. Look how angry that man behind the fence is. Just had to capture that for the article. Trudeau canceled appearance at an event in BC after protesters hurled racial slurs. Of course, no evidence of it. The report just reports on these things, but shows no proof that any of that actually occurred. Earlier this month, protesters similarly heard verbal assaults to abuse NDP leader Jagmeet Singh in Peterborough. I'm sorry, but traitor is not a race. I don't think there's a race of traitors. A sellout race. So these aren't racial terms. These are terms of, well, you're a sellout and a traitor. That's kind of what they had to say to Jagmeet Singh. At Surrey, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was forced to cancel plans to attend a fundraising dinner on Tuesday evening after two speakers at the event said protesters hurled racial slurs in the mostly South Asian attendees in a convention center in Surrey, BC. We have no proof or any evidence of this, but we're just going to repeat this talking point. We're going to go on for the rest of the article and not say anything further except the empty accusation. Except Trudeau would return to see his supporters in Surrey in the future, and an organizer of the event told the attendees they should feel safe to stay and enjoy the dinner, which they all had to pay $1,000 or plate for. But let's get back to this Countersignal article. Others in the media, further claimed, ooh, this is racist. This marks the second time in 24 hours that Trudeau was set to make a speech, but was met with passionate protests. During a visit to Kamloops yesterday, Trudeau was outright told to leave by First Nation protesters who called Trudeau a criminal. Take your disrespect out of our tribe, First Nation protesters chanted as Trudeau and his armed security detail tried to make their way through the crowd. Here we go.
Take your disrespect!
his best, obviously, to ignore that. During his speech at Kamloops, protesters were so disruptive that Trudeau was forced to stop mid-sentence and address their anger. PM Trudeau tells Indigenous supporters to respect their elders as they shout over his speech in Kamloops, BC this evening.
Honor that. I had the opportunity earlier to speak to a number of elders, and I know for them it's something that they want to hear me sharing my reflections. So I'd ask you, I hear your anger towards me, that's fine, but I'd ask you to respect your elders, please.
It's already gone through.
Thank you. I'm sorry for your anger. Thank you. We're here to honor the missing.
Shut up. Oh, what a passive-aggressive thing to say. The non-apology, the I'm sorry for your anger, as if it's that person's fault that they're so angry at the Prime Minister who has, you know, obviously all kinds of platitudes for the Native community and actually no support for them. You know, there's communities that don't have clean drinking water, but we're sending all of our money to foreign countries to fight foreign wars when we're not doing so hot over here. I can understand their frustration. Today, we're here to remember that Trudeau began. You're a criminal. First Nation protester interjected. You're not welcome here. Another First Nation protester screamed as Trudeau attempted to continue. Again, yeah, I'm sorry for your anger, he says. Now, Trudeau did have some words at another event that he was held a few days ago. And this is what he had to say. This is just, you can't make this up, folks.
There is no question that the world is changing rapidly and getting more dangerous in new ways than ever before. When we look at the prevalence of misinformation, of disinformation, the way social media has been weaponized both by foreign actors and by people within Canada pushing extremist views, trying to foment anger and discord, whether it's extremist ideology and right-wing terrorism on the rise in Canada, or whether...
Extremist ideology and right-wing terrorism on the rise in Canada. This is the government that's going after a meme. They're actually having the RCMP going after a meme, a made-up country that doesn't exist, from a comedian on the internet, Diagolon, and they're taking it seriously and actually trying to pursue this made-up country. It's this is what he's talking about: mis and disinformation. This coming from the same type of guy who in the United States counterpart wanted to make the Ministry of Truth and was, again, attacked by memes on the internet and had to get that taken care of in recent times. But yeah, the rise of right-wing extremism in Canada, it's just not happening.
Whether it's examples like the illegal protests we saw in the winter.
Oh, you mean the ones that a judge deemed to be legal? Yeah, those ones, right?
There are a whole new set of challenges that we need to be responding to. And that's why we're working closely with our national security agencies, working closely with organizations like the Canadian Security Establishment around communications to make sure that we are able to respond to these new issues, new realities. We need to do it, however, in a way that continues to defend freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to protest, to legally protest, while at the same time...
You almost said protest freely. He doesn't want that.
We're taking on more tools to keep Canadians safe, because increasingly we're seeing that things that start online end up having impacts on the real world.
Yes. Yes, things that start online do end up having impacts in the real world, like the Freedom Convoy. It was a conversation online, and it turned into a real thing. And again, a judge did deem that protest to be, and upheld it to be, a legal protest. So, again, going after memes on the internet, this is what they've come down to. And yeah, of course. It's difficult for a prime minister that is the most hated prime minister in all of Canadian history. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. You know what to do. and we'll see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.